We're talking about practice. Yes, even I could fall into the cliche terms like that. But yeah, we're talking practice because Eagles' first training camp practice of the 2024 season is today. The boys get to work. We're going to talk all about it. Phillies, Sixers, plenty of other conversation points today. And my Skip Payless hot take of the day. Guys, Trend the AM taking all your thoughts and opinions. We are live in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know the drill. Wherever you are watching, hit that like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow button. Just do whatever you can to get interactive with the show and help as many people find this show to get interactive with this show as possible. Whatever you got to do, tell a friend. If you're watching on Twitter, you got to click the video box and open it up, and that's where the chat. If you comment on the tweet itself, I can't see it, which means we cannot interact. So you got to get in there. You got to share this show out, and you got to tell people, one and all, everywhere. Number one morning show in Philadelphia. The only show where your opinions actually matter. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. Anywhere on Twitter, at Phil Stiefel, at Bearded Knowledge. If I'm on the platform, that is how you find me. And guys, we're talking practice. Practice. I hate the overused practice phrase. I do. It's up there in the most overused things. Playoffs, practice, those kind of things, overused. But today's a perfect day to pull out the Allen Iverson quote. We're talking about practice. Why? Because Eagles will get on the field and practice for the first time this training camp today, as they get set to march towards week one, Green Bay Packers in Brazil. And there's lots to talk about, continuing our Jalen Hurts conversation from yesterday, other things that we are going to be looking for in training camp. Who is going to be this year's Paul Turner syndrome recipient? All that is on the table. What we would like to see in practice to ease any of our concerns, what we'd like to see early in camp to ease our concerns. We're talking it all. We're opening the Eagles box to any conversations that anyone wants to have. Position battles. What's going to happen? What's going to happen with Cooper DeJean, who's hurt already? Got hurt working out, getting ready for camp. What does that do to his development? What does that do to him? So all of Eagles talk is on the table. We've also got, obviously, some Phillies talk. A big win last night against the Minnesota Twins. Great pitching performance from Zach Wheeler. Clutch sacrifice fly in the ninth inning from Brandon Marsh. And a huge ninth inning lockdown save for his first save of the season from Matt Strom. So Phillies are on the table, along with the Eagles. Also, we've got some other bold takes, some hot takes. We can make fun of the Cowboys and what's going on with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. We can continue the conversation with Son Reddick. Really the locker room problem, because it seems like he's causing some problems in New York with the Jets. We could talk all that stuff. We could talk about Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. all different names and conversations that are on the conversation today. Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton? Mekhi Becton. So I have to say his name in a question format, but then non-question format. And I think it's going to be really interesting. He's going to be a guy I'm keeping an eye on. For sure, K1. Let's not forget he's got a pedigree. He had a little bit of a drop-off in his last year or so playing football, but he's got a pedigree. I still think there's too many question marks on this elite offensive line, and I think that there's an argument to be made, and Brendan D got me thinking about this when he tweeted it out last weekend. Brendan D of The Score, who's been on this show in the past, that Mekhi Becton, he thinks will be starting the season at right guard, not Tyler Steen. Now, he's a tackle typically, but everybody gives every offensive lineman that comes through Philly the benefit of the doubt because of the Stoutland tag. So let's give that same vote of confidence, I guess, to someone like Mekhi Becton, who has that pedigree at tackle, who should be able to slide into guard. From what I remember being taught by Jeremy Bridges and Trey Thomas, when they've been on my shows in the past, is that it's a lot easier to go from tackle to guard than it is to go to guard to tackle. So if Mekhi Becton is pretty solid and ready to go, Tyler Steen still leaves room for doubt and question marks. Maybe Mekhi Becton is your starting right guard. And I think it's something I'm going to have my eyes early on, not on Becton. I'm going to have my eyes on Tyler Steen to see if we have to worry about this. Now, I don't think Becton will start. I think Becton will start eventually. I think Steen will get that first shot. We got some tough defenses that we're going up against early in the season. You got a new center learning all the protection schemes. You got a new center replacing a legend. You need some veteran experience that's going to know how to handle those tough situations. One thumb. Let's make sure we hit more. I have two thumbs, okay? Hopefully you have two still, too. Steen never played guard in his life. Yeah, I think people forget that. I mean, he came out of college as a tackle as well. So he's still learning a new position as well. Is he that much, even though he was here for the last year, is he that much further ahead than Becton? I don't know. Why Michael Gallup of the Cowboys retired? I don't know. The only thing I know about the Cowboys is that CeeDee Lamb's holding out. And it couldn't have happened to a better, all the holdouts that are happening in the NFL. The big names obviously being CD and Reddick and sort of semi-Jordan Love. Doesn't it make you appreciate Howie Roseman a little bit more? Because he never lets it get to the TO situation of 20 years ago. The fact that everybody gets their deals done, extensions done. If not, he trades you away so it's not a distraction. We're coming into camp, and we've got distractions, obviously. There's obviously the Jalen Hurts / Nick Sirianni fake made-up drama that is a distraction made up by the media. But player contract distractions never happen in Philly, like they're happening in Dallas, like they're happening in Green Bay, like they're happening in New York. Can you imagine if Howie Roseman would trade a third-round draft pick for somebody and then that person holds out of camp? Could you imagine the uproar? Good morning, Little G. Hope you're well. Good morning, Eric. How you doing? Good morning, Vietnam. Yeah. I see more reps opportunity for Ricks and Avante. Yes, that's with Cooper DeJean. The big breaking news yesterday was Cooper DeJean is going to start on the non-football injury list, which means basically he got injured not at a team practice. Seems like he hurt his hamstring training for the season. They're saying approximately 3 weeks before he gets on the field to practice, which would be after the first preseason game. That's going to give opportunities for Avante and Ricks. That's going to give opportunities for Keely Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers. It's going to give opportunity for James Bradbury to show what he's got as well. You know, there's going to be a lot of things there with the Cooper DeJean thing. It's a shame when a rookie, a highly touted rookie, gets hurt before even the first practice. Because even if they've got a pedigree, even a Quinion Mitchell, top tier, draft pick, Cooper DeJean, who's now hurt, you got to think that they still have a lot of learning to do, and they need the practices. So it's a big issue, or not an issue. It's a big unfortunate situation with Cooper DeJean going down. It's a big deal because he needs those reps in practice. Howie did well getting rid of Reddick. We would have this headache if he stayed. Absolutely. And I joked about it. But as you see this unfolding with the Jets, Davey, does it make you think that maybe he was one of the problems in the locker room? Maybe he was the one that was fracturing the team. I don't know. Maybe he was the one that was causing issues of some form. I don't know. But Howie would never let it get to that. Howie makes sure he takes care of business and gets it done. Sign Justin Simmons. Davey, the fact that Justin Simmons hasn't signed anywhere, does that raise any red flags? Does he overvalue himself to an extent? Maybe. Is there any concerns there? Look, we need help at safety, in my opinion. Obviously, we've got Sidney Brown coming off of the injured list. You got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship as your starters. Right now on the depth charts, there's only two other names that are safeties right now. Tristan McCollum and Andre Sam. Obviously, James Bradbury has been said to be tested as a safety, but we need help there. We do. So I'm not sure why they haven't signed him yet, and I'm not sure why he hasn't been signed anywhere yet. I'm drawing a blank. Baltimore just signed one of the other safeties that were free agents just a minute or two ago. Not figuratively, like a couple days ago. But still, Justin Simmons still being out there is very, very shockingly surprising to me. Keely Ringo can't play inside. That's what people say. Maybe not. But if anything, Cooper DeJean being out just gives more reps. You've got Rodgers and Maddox who can bounce inside and out and learn both and play both. You've got James Bradbury that could do both. Quinion Mitchell they've said they're going to try at times in the slot just in the early going. So there's a lot. The Cooper DeJean injury is very unfortunate for Cooper DeJean's development this year. 3 weeks doesn't sound like a lot, but in the early days of camp, 3 weeks is a lot. But what it does is it opens up opportunities for Vic Fangio and the defense to try a lot of different combinations out with these guys. Who's going to go where? There were rumors that Reddick was playing for himself trying to get sacks. Yes, there were. And we kind of glossed over them. I kind of feel like they were there, but we didn't really discuss them much last year. All I did was spend time talking about the almost sack category, and that was it. So maybe there is something to that. We'll find out. We'll see. We have Mekhi Gardner. He's not listed on the ESPN power rank or he's not listed on their depth chart right now. So I don't know how ESPN pulls their depth charts. I guess he's one that they don't expect to be listed as a making the roster kind of character, I guess. I don't know. I do know we have him, but I guess wasn't thinking. I was just looking at the names listed on the depth chart right now. Yeah, how weird that's yeah. Am I even saying it right? Mekhi? You're not making fun of me for how I say his name, so I'm guessing Mekhi is right. Look at Malcolm Jenkins. Came from being a corner his career in New Orleans. Maybe Bradbury can be an ultimate sleeper. Look, I'm not giving up on James Bradbury yet. Whether you cut him today or you cut him on August 31st, it costs you the same amount. Bring him in. Let him be the veteran presence. Let him see if he can play slot. Let him see if he can play safety. He can't tackle. Let him see if he can do anything. And hey, maybe an injury happens somewhere else across the NFL. Not rooting for an injury. Just saying, maybe an injury happens. And you're not going to get the Sam Bradford package, but maybe a team overpays for his veteran presence, thinking 2022 was just a full year ago. He's just 1 year removed from being an all-pro cornerback. So maybe someone calls and says, we'll give you a 5th or 6th round pick for James Bradbury. So it costs nothing to keep Bradbury around. And I'm 1,000% for it to see what he's got. Keeley is going to be a very good cornerback in this league, though. He's working hard on his weakness. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing. The Keeley Ringo and Eli Ricks, they were rookies last year. They didn't do a lot. They didn't do much. They didn't do bad. They didn't do great. But they were a different level of pedigree, so I didn't expect a lot out of them last year. Unfortunately, our secondary was bad because of Bradbury last year, and we needed them to do more than they were capable of. Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell have a higher pedigree, so I expected more out of them from week 1 this year. Ted, what's up? What's your thoughts on Nakobe Dean? Nakobe Dean is it's a curious case for me. Ted, I'm a huge Nakobe Dean fan. I remember watching his highlights, from Georgia. I'm really like, this guy, man, this guy's the real deal. I don't care about his size. He just can't stay healthy enough to get any rhythm. That's the problem. He needs to be healthy. Last year, got the green dot the first day of camp. I remember post day 1 practice, the first show I did tomorrow's show last year. I'm like, the Kobe Dean's got the green dot already. This is big. Then he gets hurt in camp and misses most of camp. Then he kind of flounders around early in the season. Then he gets hurt again. Then he basically doesn't play most of the year. Nakobe Dean needs to be healthy. If Nakobe Dean could be healthy, we'd be good. If the thing that tells me a lot about Nakobe Dean is the drafting of Jeremiah Trotter Jr. There's something that comes with being Trotter's son and being drafted by the Eagles. You draft him for the nostalgic, aspect, but you also draft him because he's pretty much similar to Nakobe Dean, a small, undersized linebacker. So does the drafting of Trot Jr., tell me that they're not sold on Dean maybe? As of now, Zach Bond and Devin White, kind of forgot his name for a second there. They're your starting linebackers right now. Interior linebackers. 100%. Nakobe Dean will have to earn his way onto the field in any capacity this year. Devin White, some will say he's washed. Some will say he's got nothing left in the tank. That very well may be the case. I don't know. Very likely. But also, he's only 26, Devin White, and maybe Devin White has a little career resurgence here. Nakobe Dean is going to have to hard work in camp to even become a second stringer. I don't think he wouldn't not make the team, Nakobe Dean, because we are pretty weak at that position or lack of depth at that position. But there's a very strong chance you do not see him on the field much early in the football season outside of special teams. Mekhi is the new Jalen, is it? This is no movie. There's no Mekhi flavor, yeah. Axe Jr. doesn't show out this year. People might turn an eye. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., look, I expect 0 out of Trot Jr. I think that Trot Jr. is a massive project, just like Alex Hunt. I mean, those 2 draft picks there are draft picks that are not being made for 2024. They're being made for 2026 and beyond. No, Hunt might get on the field a little bit because edge rushers always find a way. But Trot Jr. is behind even Nakobe Dean at this point. And that's not saying much because Nakobe Dean isn't much yet either. So, I don't expect anything. I don't expect to turn an eye or anything. I don't think it was him getting drafted because of the namesake. I think he fell so far in the draft that Howie Roseman couldn't help himself and see the little bit of hope on the tape, plus have his father back around the team a little bit more. I think it was a little bit of all that. This is not like Bronny James getting drafted by the Lakers when he doesn't even deserve to get drafted. This is a little different of a scenario. I'm out on Nakobe until he shows what he can do and stays freaking healthy. So Nakobe needs to show what he can do and he needs to stay healthy. I'm not out on him. When you say I'm out on him, you're saying you don't care if the Eagles cut him or not. He was a third-round draft pick just 2 years ago. Like, I'm not out on Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean needs to have a hell of a camp. Nakobe Dean needs to show stuff in preseason games. Nakobe Dean has to stay healthy. And if all those three things happen, he'll be a special teamers and a backup on defense. And if an injury happens, and injuries do happen, maybe we see something. Vic Fangio has been known to get max value out of linebackers, take average linebackers and turn them into very good linebackers. So we will see. But he's got a lot of work to do on the field in the next 4 to 6 weeks to even earn a spot on special teams. Devin White needs a dose of reality. His freelancing drove Todd Bowles nuts. Maybe Fangio can straighten him out. Look, yeah, Devin White is in a similar scenario to an extent that James Bradbury is, just minus the contract and the age. Former All-Pro that people say is washed, but are not that far removed from being All-Pros. You can blame system. You can blame what K1 says he needs a dose of reality, etc. But we are not that far removed from Devin White being an elite linebacker in the NFL. We're not that far removed from him being a game changer on defense. Vic Fangio has had success grooming and building up, linebackers. Maybe Devin White turns a corner back to, I doubt he'll be an all-pro again, but maybe he turns to being a T.J. Edwards level of success, a Kazir White level of success. Like, I spent a lot of time on the show criticizing Edwards and White back when they were here in 2022, saying they're okay. They're not special. But then when we lost them and went to Nicholas Morrow and Christian Ellis and whatever other names we rotated in there last year, made me miss T.J. Edwards and Kazir White and their level of production. The hope is that Devin White can at least give you T.J. Edwards level of production. And if they do, maybe that's why the defense had such a falling apart last year, because the linebacker play went from average to massively below average. So maybe there's something to that. Bond's 77% starter, Dean 23. So we're talking about like snap counts and whatnot. So you think Bond will play about 70% of the snaps, Dean 20. So you're going to say that there's going to be a slight rotation there? Maybe. I don't know. I'm curious to see week one, because you're going to get very vanilla defense in the preseason, obviously. I'll be very curious to see week one what kind of defensive alignments Vic Fangio rolls out there regularly. It's going to be kind of a hybrid 3-4. It's really a 5-2 defense, because you're going to have like people like Carter Davis and Milton Williams on the field with Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat. And then you'll have Bond and White. So really you got 5 down linemen and 2 linebackers, even though the Huffs of the world, the Sweats of the world, the Nolan Smiths of the world will drop back into coverage. But so I'm curious to see how it is. What will they do with the cornerbacks and safeties? What will they roll out there in given situations? I'm curious, because we haven't had the Vic Fangio system. We've had a hybrid of the Vic Fangio system. Zach Bond is 6'3", 230. Dean is 5'11", 220. So not much weight difference, but 4 inches taller. And I like that. One of Nakobe Dean's and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. too, one of their biggest things that is going to hold them back, if it holds them back at all, in the NFL in their careers, is their size. It's very hard to be an undersized linebacker. And I tried to mention it yesterday. I forgot to look it up. There was one really, really good. Sam something. Played for Carolina. Really small linebacker. Made a few Pro Bowls. You can be successful small at middle linebacker, but it makes it very difficult. Ben Van Summeren. Yeah. If Ben Van Summeren's getting a lot of work again this year, that means there's injuries or poor play. That is not a knock on Ben Van Summeren. It's just he's not that good. Excuse me. Man, allergies a killer. But yeah, the linebacker situation, You might even see times when it's just one linebacker on the field. You got your 5-down linemen / edge rushers, whatever, / outside linebackers, what do you want, whatever you want to call them, and just one linebacker. And then you got 5 guys in the secondary. You might see that. You might see more dime lineups. You might see more nickel lineups. The position flexibility that this defense is being built into, guys that could do everything. Because hell, even on the defensive line, there's a lot of flexibility on this defense. Jalen Carter can play on the outside. Milton Williams can play on the outside, but they're both inside guys. Really, the only 2 guys that are going to get regular snaps that don't have a lot of flexibility is Josh Sweat, because he can't really drop into coverage. And Jordan Davis, I doubt he could play on the outside. That's about it. Do I watch soccer? Not much. I was trying to get into soccer, but then they took soccer, the MLS, off of TV and put it on Apple TV, so I kind of gave up on that. I do like some Premier League. I used to watch a lot of Premier League soccer. When I traveled internationally on cruise ships for a while, you didn't get ESPN. You got ESPN International, and they put soccer on 24/7 outside of SportsCenter replays. So I did get to watch a lot of soccer. I appreciate the sport. It's hard to watch on TV. It really is. And we're going to get to TV in a second and sports as something that's been going on Twitter, my Twitter page. Soccer is definitely something that's much better in person than it is on TV. And I hate going to events, but, it really is. But I guarantee the link will be packed for that on Monday. Guarantee it. We got another linebacker from San Fran, like another recently or somebody else you're thinking of. Yeah, you got the Burks guy. Was he the one from there? We did pick up a bunch of fringe linebackers, typical Howie. But you know what? Devin White is a big risk reward kind of, big reward, low risk because we're not paying him a lot. Jalen Carter could play fullback. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Jordan Mailata have all said this offseason that they wish that Kellen Moore would use them on offense. And I've been preaching this since the day he was drafted. I wanted Jordan Mailata in that refrigerator Perry role just one time. I just want to see Jordan Mailata do a touchdown celebration dance so bad. But everyone told me I'm nuts. You don't risk your left tackle. I'm nuts. You got Saquon Barkley in the tush push. You don't do it. It's just for fun. It would be hilarious. It'd be great. Tell me anybody that's going to stop Jordan Mailata or Jalen Carter. Just here's what you do. You have Jalen Hurts line up under center, and you have what's it called when you have 3 running backs? That's not the pistol. That's the when you have the 3 running backs behind you. You put Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Jordan Mailata all in the backfield behind Jalen Hurts, and see what happens. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, there is. Yeah, absolutely. I have a problem with my Peacock account. Well, it's not mine. I stole it. But it flashes or it skips a lot. My YouTube TV doesn't buffer or skip a lot. But Peacock always skips, and it makes it very hard to watch TV on it. Phil hates going to the Eagles games. I do hate going to Eagles games. Mitchie Poo. And yes, that is part of the conversation today. I am going to bring up that tweet, and we are going to discuss it. But we will get to that. Olenberg. I don't have my glasses on me. I couldn't read the depth chart. I saw what looked like a Burke something. Phil loves him some Lionel Messi. I don't know. Maybe. Cooper DeJean has a bad hammy and can't practice. Yeah, I mean, look, it happens. It's better that it happened now and not 3 weeks from now. But it is. It's what I kicked the show off with. I mean, it is frustrating because Cooper DeJean needs the reps. He needs the practice. He needs to learn the Fangio system. He needs to figure out NFL defense versus college defense and what offenses are going to throw at him. It does give an opportunity to a lot of other young kids to get reps, which is great for them. Cooper DeJean is going to be a backup to start the season now. I thought there was an outside shot. He could be a starting slot corner for this team week 1, but now most likely he's going to be a special teamers and a bench piece. So we will see. The wishbone. I know it wasn't the pistol. The pistol was just the first word that came into my mind. Give me a wishbone setup Oh, man. I drop pens way too easily. That's why I've got 27 pens sitting over here. The wishbone. Give me the wishbone with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Just do it. Give it to me. And Jordan Mailata all in the backfield. And who are you going to hand it to? Jalen Carter played snaps at fullback for Georgia. Check out the clips. I'm going to. And like I said, when we drafted Jordan Mailata, the first thing that they showed was that highlight clip of him running with the whatever you call the ball in rugby, running with it and just bowling over people. I started the whole thing. Started the whole what thing? You don't start nothing. Nothing. The whole stadium thing is something I've been preaching for a long time, Mitchy Poo. Mailata on 4th and inches, fake tush. Yeah? Hey, just have Mailata line up under center for a tush put. There you go. Have a Jordan Mailata, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter with no Jalen Hurts in the backfield and do a tush push that way. How about that? The reincarnation of the tush push just with Jordan Mailata. DraftKings is going to start having to add Jordan Mailata anytime touchdown score odds. I love the question that came up from K1. We can go on for a whole show. I was hoping this did not come up, but we'll talk about it all camp long. What about wide receiver 3, Phil? Any faith in Paris Campbell? So my question on Twitter yesterday was, and I didn't get a lot of responses on this because, I don't know, I think people get mad at me when I make fun of them for their overreaction sometimes. Who is going to be this year's Paul Turner Syndrome Award recipient? And most of the time it's a wide receiver or a running back. Sometimes a tight end. Who is going to be the third wide receiver? Paris Campbell is in that spot right now. Paris Campbell, was it 2 or 3 years ago, had a very good season in Indy. Paris Campbell can be the third wide receiver. He'd be an upgrade over Quez Watkins. Obviously, they got the 2 young kids, Johnny Wilson and Smith. Forget it begins with an A, his first name. Obviously, they're going to be fighting. I think, and it breaks my heart to say this, Britton Covey might be the odd man out. But there's another name that's going to be the Paul Turner Syndrome recipient, award winner, that people are going to keep talking about knocking Paris Campbell out of that number 3 spot. And I till this morning, or was it late last night that I saw the tweet and I quote tweeted it? I totally forgot he was even signed to the Eagles. And that's John Ross. Guy's a terrible wide receiver, but he's a speed demon. And he can take the top off. And remember how much they hyped up Quez Watkins always because of what his speed does to defenses, even though he can't catch a pass. You're going to hear a lot of Eagles fans see highlight clips of John Ross burning James Bradbury in practice, and everyone's going to say that Ross needs to be wide receiver 3 on this team. I did my research, like I said. Over the last 6 years, the Eagles coming out of camp have kept 4 wide receivers last year, 5 in 22 and 21. They kept 7 on the roster in 2020. So they only had 2 tight ends that year. 5 in 2019 and 6 in 2018. So the odds are we're going to keep 5 wide receivers. Slim chance of 4, but most likely 5. Obviously, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Paris Campbell. You got the 2 rookies. You've got Britton Covey, and you got John Ross fighting for that last wide receiver spot. Now, I think one of those rookies could probably get through to the practice squad. You could probably get Britton Covey on the practice squad. You might even be able to get John Ross, honestly, on the practice squad at this point of his career. But I'm telling you, the John Ross, Paul Turner Syndrome situation is going to happen. But I have no problem with Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell can't. You got to remember, you don't need Justin Jefferson at wide receiver 3. You've got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith. When healthy, you got Dallas Goedert, and you got Saquon Barkley. 4 ball-dominant offensive weapons. You just need an extra body there that can hold defenses accountable and say there's a chance. So I love the wide receiver 3 battle, but I think it's an underrated battle on who are going to make the team out of camp at wide receiver. One player that's going to surprise the whole NFL this season is Cam Jurgens, Pro Bowl loading. Well, look, Cam Jurgens was already a Pro Bowl level, borderline all-pro level right guard. So my only concerns with Cam Jurgens come in that he's got a lot of responsibilities to learn. He's got that supreme pure, like natural talent. Sure. Don't get me wrong there, Davey. He's got talent. But does he know how to call out defensive blitz pickups? Can he slide, make offensive line blocking adjustments? Can he do all the things he needs to and help? Because Jason Kelce helped him out at right guard. He's now got to help Tyler Steen out at right guard. So there's a lot of work for Cam Jurgens to do. And I think by the end of the season, we will be pleasantly surprised by Cam Jurgens' center. But I think there are going to be some hiccups on the right side of the line, center, right guard, early in the season. Again, like Chris Franklin said when he was on the show last week, just think about week 3 against the Saints and what the Saints defense throws up front. Is Cam Jurgens going to be ready by week 3 to figure that all out? We hope so. What's the full house lineup? I don't know X's and O's. I don't know the full house. I don't understand what you're asking there. I vote Aeneas Smitty. That was the other rookie that they drafted. Yes. I think Howie signs a vet wide receiver. Well, who? K1, honestly, I won't lie to you. I haven't even looked. The only free agent out there that I've been keeping my eye on is Justin Simmons for safety. What veteran wide receivers, K1, are out there that will sign cheap enough, A, but B, be content playing behind Smitty and Brown, knowing you're not going to get a lot of targets, that you're coming here to be that third option out of the wide receivers and to get a Super Bowl ring. Who is out there, K1? Because honestly, I don't know. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, I try. John Ross is a funny narrative. It is. I'm telling you. He is going to be this year's Paul Turner. He's going to be, remember 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago when Jalen Reagor had that big one-handed falling backwards catch in camp. And everyone but me is like, yeah, Reagor's back, baby. And obviously that didn't work out. John Ross is going to have highlight reel practice tapes. Because, again, he's naturally one of the fastest guys in the history of the NFL. And he's still got his speed. Guy just can't catch. Aeneas Smith and the lanky dude we drafted are going to be nice for us. Do you think Smith or Wilson can make it safely to the practice squad, Davey? Because I think that's very key in making decisions as well. People got to think about the practice squads are bigger. You could protect 4 guys, every week. You could bring guys up from the practice squad a couple times. Can you get Smith or Wilson through to the practice squad, or are they touted enough in the NFL circles where someone would claim them? I mean, early on, I heard a few peeps about him, but not lately. Cam looks really relaxed and confident in the videos on the Eagles YouTube channel. He's got this. And he's also been growing a mullet, I heard. I haven't seen the pictures yet. T. Higgins wants in. T. Higgins wants a big deal, Travis. And you can't pay Smitty and A.J. Brown the money they're getting and give T. Higgins a big contract. So I don't think you can afford what T. Higgins wants. I doubt T. Higgins would sign here on a 1-year, what do we call it in other leagues, the prove it deal. I don't think he's going to come here for 1 year, $3 million. Not when he was wanting a big deal from Cincinnati. I was thinking more like a post-roster cut or okay, gotcha. So you're not saying you think Howie's going to bring somebody in the next 2 weeks to start the season. They'll start with what they've got and then pivot when the season begins. Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Although they didn't do that last year, K1. We talked on this show multiple times. We got to move on from Quez Watkins. Go out and get this. Wasn't Jarvis Landry available midseason last year? Like, we talked about it. And they stuck with Quez Watkins and Lamade Zaccheaus, who I don't have to say his name anymore, thank God. Wave your hands side to side and say, I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't even understand what you were asking. Sorry, Barb. Sometimes these comments, they go right over my head, and I don't understand them. But what doesn't go over my head is the amount of money you can save if you need to buy tickets to a sporting event, concert, or theater. Go to SherryTickets.com. They have no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. None of this, Oh, look at that $50 ticket. Then you get the checkout and it's $500. Not at SherryTickets.com. The price you see is the price you pay. SherryTickets.com. Use promo code EOP10 at checkout. It saves you an additional 10% off your tickets. They are the best. Why would you overpay with the rest? Save with the best. SherryTickets.com. And one of our other great sponsors, obviously, PhillySportsTrips.com. When you go to their website, sign up for their stuff. Let them know EOP, Trending in the AM, sent you. You can get your tickets to go to Brazil in not that far. 6 weeks? Not even 6 weeks away. To see the Eagles take on the Green Bay Packers. Probably if you don't have a passport, you don't even want this trip because I don't think you get a passport in 5 weeks anymore. But Eagles take on the Green Bay Packers, Brazil, week 1. You can get your trip tickets there. You can go see and meet Mickey Morandini at the Italian Heritage Celebration Tailgate, August 14th. You can book that there. We can go to spring training. Deposits are accepting them to see our World Series champion Philadelphia Phillies kickstart their 2025 season. You can go to Miami to see the Union take on the Miami team or any of our other Eagles takeover trips to Tampa, to Baltimore, which will be a bus trip, Dallas, Dallas week, Dallas sucks week. Guys, PhillySportsTrips.com. Make sure you let them know EOP and Trending in the AM sent you guys. And right back to the comments there. Nick Sirianni's press conference starts in 20 minutes. So my viewership's going to tank in 20 minutes. I thought he wasn't starting until 9:30, 9:45. Damn it. I'll watch it after the show. I can't cut the show 30 minutes short for his press conference. But I will watch it on replay. I will take notes on it. I will take notes on everything I see all over social media today. We will be recapping today, all the happenings of today, tomorrow, without a shadow of a doubt. And even the little, you don't get much on day 1 of practice, but every little inkling, we're going to learn about it. That was slick. You like it? Dude, I'm really working on my transitions, Travis. I really am. I'm trying to make sure I have a perfect segue to one ad read at least every single day. If I got to read these ads every single day, I read these ads 5 times a week, 6 times a week, counting Fairway to Heaven. Got to find slick ways to make it work, These reads yeah. You guys don't come here for the sports discussion. You guys don't come here for the sports debate. You come here to see how I do my ad reads. Basically, and that's it. No way I bail before the cherry. Yeah, so I'm going to save the cherry ad read just to make sure you don't leave me to go listen to Nick Sirianni say nothing. Because we know Nick Sirianni isn't going to say much. He's going to say he's ready to get camp underway. Maybe he drops a nugget like on Cooper DeJean and the injury. Maybe he mentions James Bradbury, whether he's going to be safety or not, or whether he's healthy or not. But there's not a whole heck of a lot that Nick Sirianni is going to say before practice 1. And there's not a whole heck of a lot that he needs to say before practice 1. Hopefully, we get somebody that'll ask a question about what he's going to do tone-wise differently to set the tone differently this year so that, and he doesn't just give us a cliche answer. Maybe he gives us an accidental good answer on how he's going to set the tone to be different this year. So maybe the collapses don't happen again. Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. Highway to Heaven. Yeah, wasn't that is that the show with the angel? I know what show you're talking about. I just never really watched it. I want to ask Sirianni who he would call if he needed legal representation. I'm sure he's got a lawyer on retainer, K1. I'm sure it's not who you think you're trying to segue me for. Nick going to say this is not more offense, people. It's Hurts. Look how Wentz turned out in 17. Look, I was reading on the Kellen Moore, the Jalen Hurts offense. I was reading my man Chris Franklin's latest article on DelawareOnline.com. He writes for the Delaware News Journal, DelawareOnline.com. M. Frank on Twitter. Great reporter. And he brought something up in the article of things he's looking for, top 5 things he's looking for early in camp, and the relationship in the offense between Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts and what it's going to look like. And Kellen Moore's got a certain style of offense he likes to run. Jalen Hurts is a certain kind of quarterback. Do those two things jive? Does Jalen Hurts have to change who he is? Or does Kellen Moore have to pivot his offense somewhat to Jalen Hurts' talents and skill set? And I think that's an interesting thing. Think about it. The Eagles have only had 4,000-yard passer in the history of the franchise. Carson Wentz, one time. And it was barely 4,000 yards. Where was it? I had the exact number on here. 4,039 yards in 2019. Not even in 17. 2019. Just over. 39 yards over. Dak Prescott threw for over 4,400 yards and almost 5,000 yards one year under Kellen Moore. Justin Herbert would have thrown over 4,000 yards if he didn't get hurt last year. Can Jalen Hurts throw? Think about it. A.J. Brown's had 1,500 yards both the last two seasons. And Devontae Smith has had over 1,000 both the last two seasons. And Jalen Hurts still, I don't know what that is. Something was beeping in my house. And Jalen Hurts still hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards. So can Jalen Hurts throw for 4,000 yards? Or does Kellen Moore have to adjust the offense, make it more run heavy, get more creative? Like, what has to happen for Jalen Hurts to do that? Are we going to see? I mean, was it 2018, I believe it was, that Saquon Barkley had over 700 yards receiving? I don't think it would be that heavy. But is there a scenario or a situation where Jalen Hurts can throw for that? I don't know. I think that's we're all focused on this 95% new offense phrase that Jalen Hurts said. But my concern is it going to be changed so drastically that it's a negative effect on Jalen Hurts? Going to make, we always talked about during the Donovan McNabb era about trying to force him to be a pocket passer. And he would throw the worm balls and whatnot, and he never should have been a pocket passer. That's not what his game was. Shouldn't you tailor your offense around the skill set of your franchise quarterback? Whether you like Jalen Hurts or not. And there's a lot of people that don't like Jalen Hurts, obviously. There's a lot of people with a Jalen Hurts agenda for whatever reason. Do you really want a 95% new offense that doesn't tailor to what Jalen Hurts is capable of doing successfully? Shouldn't the offense be made to look like what the 2022 offense looked like? Not just something completely different. It's just something that's been on my mind since reading this article from Martin Frank. I had the guy, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I thought. What did I do there? Hold on. Yeah. No way I'm leaving before Taylor trade. I think that, like, Swerve Strickland needs Prince Nana. Yeah, Prince Nana. The dude gets paid just to come out and dance for 2 minutes and goof around. I love it. I love it, guys. But yeah, no cherry ad read just yet. Not yet. I got through 2 already. I'm on the schedule. I've been late on the ad reads lately, but I try to get 2 in before the 45-minute mark, and then 1 in the hour to hour and 10-minute mark, and then 1 towards the closing 10 minutes. In my mind, that's the schedule I try to keep up with. Eagles had all 90 players report for the start of training camp yesterday. Rookie DeJean arrived with a hamstring injury. Yes, we discussed that. And you know what? All people reporting. It's so great to not have that drama, like the Jets with Hassan Reddick, with the Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb, and maybe something with whatever. And you got Jordan Love not practicing even. He's half reported, half not reported. They used a funny term for it on SportsCenter this morning. I forget what they called it, but it's like what, quiet quitting. He's like quiet holding out. Coach Sirianni meets with reporters before at 9 a.m. and Jalen Hurts will have availability after the workout. Yes, and I will track all of it today. 100% of it I will be tracking, and I will be doing everything I can to make sure we cover that massively. 13 likes. Well, Mitch, I don't even think anybody's watching the show today. I don't. I think there's some algorithm problems today. According to my StreamYard, only one person is watching on YouTube right now, which I got more than one person comment. So I don't know what the hell's going on. So whatever. I just got to stop looking at the counter at the top of the screen here. I don't know what's going on. How have we gone 50 minutes without mentioning Saquon Barkley? I just mentioned Saquon a minute ago. Now it's like 4. Yeah, it still says 1 on my screen. But anyway, how have we gone 15 minutes without mentioning? I mentioned him. What is Saquon Barkley's role in the offense going to be? How is the role going to play out? What's going to happen with Saquon Barkley? How much usage is he going to get? Is he going to finish just like DeAndre Swift last year with just over 1,000 yards because they try to protect him? I don't know. No, it's 4. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stream today. Remember when Nab didn't know there was overtime and ties after? Yeah. Oh man, the good old days. I wish I was podcasting back then. I would have had fun with that one. Please let the people know why you hate going to Eagles games. All right, you want me to address this? I hate going to football games. I hate going to sporting events. Why would I? Oh, hold on. Before I do that, I got to put the graphic up for that. All right. My Skip Payless hot take of the day is that going to sporting events, especially football games, are massively overrated. I would much rather sit at home in front of my 60-inch high-def TV on my comfy-ass couch with a clean bathroom, a fridge full of beer that I paid $20 for a whole case, not $20 per, with food on the grill, or a pot in the wintertime, a pot of sauce cooking, simmering for some spaghetti on the stovetop with some meatballs. Like, I'd much rather that experience, watching my fantasy teams, watching my bets play out. If you got the red zone, you got the red zone on a separate screen. Why would I want to go to a game, pay $50 to park, fight 2 hours of traffic to get in and out of the parking lot, sit elbow to elbow with 60,000 people, freezing my ass off in the wintertime, fight crowds, pay $20 a beer, $18 a hot dog? Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to be in that? You can't even, I remember the last game I went to was Eagles-Chargers in 2021. We lost that game. They had a 7-minute drive at the end of the game there to run out the clock. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to go to Phillies games anymore regularly. I don't want to go to Eagles games regularly, Sixers games, Flyers games. Why would I want to fight the crowds at those games? A 3-hour game turns into 5 hours just with traffic in and out of the parking lot. And then it's an hour drive home for me at a minimum. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Going to sporting events is overrated. The viewing experience is made for TV. When you're at a game, you don't even get to see half of what's going on in the game because your mind's all over the place. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. I've had people offer me in the last 2 years free tickets to go to Eagles games, and you know what I said? Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'll pass. It sucks. I hate it. Start saying that, Mitchie Poo, and look, I got 20 comments missed here. I'm watching twice. Apparently Sirianni is Lori's man. Okay. Fire. Will the starters play at all in the preseason? I don't know. They don't normally under Nick Sirianni, but what I will say is Nick Sirianni said he wants to do things differently. So maybe you get a drive or two in the first or second preseason game. It depends on how practice is going. It depends on how the joint practice goes. I am not a clown. Stop. Football looks excellent on a nice show. Exactly. Why would I want to go to the stands? Be miserable. This is my first game in 2 to 3 years. Yeah, you're going to the Cleveland Browns game. Yeah. Which I think I'm curious to see what happens with Cleveland Browns and their camp because I want to see what happens with Nick Chubb and how healthy and when he comes back. Steep in my yeah. Skip. Rantfill. Look, Rantfill just blew up the comments. All because I said I hate going to sporting events in person. I do. It's overrated when you don't have a home life to run from. I don't have a home life to run from. I don't. I just don't like going. I really, truly, thoroughly, as I've gotten older, just stopped liking crowds of people. I don't hear super well. And when there's a lot of background noise, I can't. I'm sorry. Hang on 1 second, guys. So, yeah, I just don't like it. I don't hear well. It's noisy. It's distracting. I hate, 1,000% hate the cold weather as well. I agree with your hot take of the day. Live sporting events are expensive. And first and foremost, Not only the tickets, beer, and like I could get over the ticket prices. I could get over the beer prices. Hell, if I don't like the hot dog price, I don't have to like the hot dog price. What I can't comprehend of the cost of going to a sporting event is $50 parking price. Like, why? You've already gotten all our money. Now you want $50 for us to park in a lot that takes 2 hours to get in and out of? Get the hell out of here with that. Younger kids like going to football games. Yeah, I get the kids like going to the games. I get you got to take your kid to a game occasionally of any sport, but I don't got kids, so I don't have to go. I know my brother and my nephew are trying to get me to go to a Phillies game with them at some point this summer, and I'll go eventually, but I don't want to. I don't feel like I want to go to a game. I'd much rather have a party here in my basement with it on the TV. I got a smaller TV down here in my basement, but I'd rather have a party down here than anything else. Fuel. Yeah. Joint practice. Yeah. Look, I get more excitement watching the highlights and reading the recaps of the joint practice than I do the preseason games. The joint practice is where the real work is done. The joint practice, there's only one on the books, I think, this year with New England. Normally there's two. That's where you learn about this team, the joint practice. Rant, park, do. Just like Hot Shots Part do. Yeah. Hot Shots, no? Anybody a Hot Shots fan? One funny-ass comedy movie and a comedy movie part two. Cost me to bring kids to a game at pretty much a mortgage. Exactly. All these people. I saw somebody, and this is slightly off topic, someone on one of the Philadelphia Eagles super fan pages share a picture of all their jerseys. Like, damn, you could pay your damn mortgage off if you didn't buy all those jerseys. Same thing going to a sporting event. If you got a family of four tickets, we'll go cheap. We'll go Phillies. It's probably the cheapest of the four sports teams right now. 4 tickets, average tickets, you're going to drop $200 to $250 on the ticket. You're going to drop $50 on parking. So now we're at $250, $300. Hot dogs and sodas for a family, you're looking at $100. You're looking at $350, $400 at a bare minimum to go to a Phillies game for a family of 4. And that doesn't count all the extras if they want a shirt or they want a souvenir hat or whatever. And that's if you get average tickets and not good seats. And that's if you're not drinking beer. Like, the cost is not worth the experience. When I can have a party at my house and invite 40 of you over for the price it'll cost a family of 4. That's what it costs. And I don't like it. Plus, there's a lot of people. Plus, it's cold out in the wintertime. Plus, all the other things. You also can't get in an automobile accident if you stay in your basement. Hey, I would live down here if I could. I got a bar down here. Why not? Party down here. Scott Hall, party down where? Down here. Yeah. Voice crack Phil. Yeah, it makes an appearance every so often. You know, it is what it is. I can't help it. Way better off going to a Wings games. Too bad they suck. Look, now, I just don't know anything about lacrosse. The Wings are the indoor lacrosse team. The Wooder Dogs, they stink. They're the outdoor lacrosse team. The fact that there's 2 lacrosse teams in Philly and they both suck, that's no bueno. It is what it is. Voice crack Phil. You guys love when Voice crack Phil makes an appearance. PC has moved. See, yeah, he never starts on time. Never. Notorious voice crack. Am I the notorious VCP? Is that what I am? Yeah. Let them both be out there. I don't care. We're not going to get much from the pressers. We know that. But I will recap it tomorrow. We will find any nugget we can tomorrow from the practice today. I'm sure Franklin and all the guys will be out there posting videos all over social media. Sirianni and Howie know better than to step on the cherry feet. Yeah, they know better that their viewership would drop massively if they went live at the same time as I was live. Baseball is the best sport to watch at the stadium. It's relaxing, exciting at the same time. I would say that hockey is probably the best in-person sport, especially playoff hockey, especially playoff Game 7 hockey, which I've been to. I've probably been to 30 or 40 baseball games in my life, maybe more. Probably 20, 30 hockey games in my life. I've probably been to like 6 Eagles games and like 3 Sixers games. in my life, just to put in perspective. But hockey is made to watch in person. I believe in VCP. You got to say VCP. Mr. Facts. I don't know. I think hockey might be a slightly better sport to watch in person, but I get it. Baseball is more enjoyable in person to the casual fan than the hardcore fan in person versus on TV. As a hardcore fan, I want to watch on TV. I want to see the strike zone box. I want to see what's going on all over the field. I want to be able to see every play being made. Whereas in person, if you got the wrong seat, you can't see certain people on the field. I don't know. I would much rather watch baseball as a hardcore fan in person or on TV than in person. Hockey is the only sport that you have to enjoy it in person to really appreciate it. And soccer to an extent. I think Boys Crack Bill almost came out there again. I think soccer is probably much more enjoyable in person than in on TV as well. Sitting on the glass in the front is the best. Dude, I've sit everywhere at the Wells Fargo Center for hockey games, man. I've sit at center ice. I've sit in luxury boxes. I've sit in the nosebleeds. There's something special about going to a hockey game. But even that I don't do anymore. Couldn't even tell you the last time I went to a Flyers game. At least 6 or 7 years. But there was a stretch of life where I was going to 5, 7, 8 games a year. Loved going to Flyers games. Jesus, that's twice I tried setting up. I know what you're trying to do. Why? Let me find the app. Let me find the segue. It's got to feel right. Okay? It's got to feel right. It just doesn't. It just doesn't feel right when you forced it too hard. You got to let it come naturally. What's a point guard got to do? Well, Sixers news mentioned a point guard. They did sign Reggie Jackson yesterday, and I think that that's a really good move. A good veteran depth piece. I can't believe he's only been in the league, and he's only 34 for as long as he has. I feel like he's been in the league for 37 years. But Reggie Jackson is a Sixer now, starting to take shape. Phil has more names and alter egos than Apollo Creed. Yeah, I do. And you guys only know the ones that I let out on here. I got a lot more than that. What about live boxing? What would be the point? Yeah, I've never been to a boxing match, or I've been to wrestling, like WWE events in person, but I've never been to a boxing or MMA bout in person. But it's got to be hard. Like, I've been to a wrestling event in person, and it's cool. But I've been to a wrestling event with, like, cage matches, and it's hard to watch through the rings and stuff. Like, I don't get nosebleed UFC seats or nosebleed boxing seats. Like, maybe you got to be there in person. I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, of course. Absolutely. I just can't work within a system. I made the system. It's my system. I created the system. Just so you know. 34 is like 19 for Tyler Moore. Yeah. I was surprised Reggie Jackson never played in, with the Houston Rockets or something. Always freelancing. I do things my way. It's my way or the highway. That's that. I want to address something else. I get crushed for it all the time on this show and on Twitter. I always say where your opinions actually matter. And I don't know what made me think of this yesterday afternoon, but your opinions do matter. Everyone says, well, what, my opinion only matters if it agrees with yours? No. Your opinion to the person I'm directly this at, and it's not who you think it is. When I say your opinion actually matters, it does. It just doesn't mean your opinion has to be right or that I have to agree with your opinion. That's all. I just want to throw that out there to the nosebleeds that like to criticize me on Twitter because I say your opinion matter, but don't agree with your opinions. And you think that that means your opinion doesn't matter. I got a lot of nicknames. Reggie Jackson is greater than Campaign, I think. He'll be greater next season. I mean, big picture, maybe Campaign because he's younger, but I don't know. Steve, what's up? I'm sure the crowd is like nothing else. At a game 7 at a hockey game, absolutely. It's amazing. Your thoughts on sporting events are how I feel about concerts. I feel the same thing about concerts too, Big Al. Like I used to spend, dude, I could probably pay for my mortgage off with the amount of money I spent just on Dave Matthews tickets alone in my life. But young me had no problem with the crowds. Older me, Honestly, I think it's a little bit of laziness to me, fighting the crowds and stuff like that. Like, I don't have any desire to go listen to a band perform with 40,000 people anymore. Like, I don't. Like, I'd much rather go to a local bar and sit at a table, have a few beers and dinner, and listen to a local musician cover artist and support the local musician than going to a concert, dropping what did Taylor Swift tickets cost you? $500, $1,000? Go to a Taylor Swift concert. You literally can make 2 months of mortgage payments on one night out. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe we're both just old, Big Al. Maury's the opposite of Josh Giddey. Bazinga. Yeah. Cough, cough. I knew you were going to say it was Matty B. That's not who I'm talking about. But that comment does direct towards Matty B a little bit as well, K1. That's not why I thought of it yesterday, but it does fit. That's the third voice crack right there today. I don't know what's going on with my voice today. I think it's just the fact that I can't breathe at all. I am so congested right now, just so you know. But it's not direct. It wasn't. I didn't come up with that statement because of Matty B, but it does fit Matty B's narrative as well. Concerts are good if you're young and high. Yeah. Both. Check. Dude, I spent an entire weekend in Veterans Stadium parking lot in the back of my van seeing 3 straight Dave Matthews concerts 3 nights in a row. We just lived in the van, not down by the river, down by the vet, for 3 days and went to 3 concerts. I believe it was 99. It was Dave Matthews who had the Roots and what's his name open for him. Oh, geez, the guitarist. Why can't I think? Santana, the Roots, and Dave Matthews. Went to all 3 shows. Lived in the van with my friends for 3 days. That was great. I was young. I was stupid. I was 19. But, man, I wish I had that money back. You know what? She doesn't annoy me. She's a smart woman. She's a good musician. Not my type of music. But, you know, she's found success and she's important to the culture of music. I get that. She's a smart woman. She knows how to make money. That's all I could say. I have no problem with the way she makes money. Dave Matthews, the quintessential dad rock band. Well, back in the day, it was the quintessential college high band, college get high band, for sure. Yeah, VCP. We're just going to change my name to VCP. VCP. Yeah, no, I prefer to go LA Knights out. VCP. Yeah, we got to keep it more relevant than Rob Van Dam. Who wins, VCP versus Taylor Swift or Kyle Lowry? Taylor Swift. I ain't no Swiftie, but I respect the hell out of her. Living in the van is great, but sporting event is overrated. Yeah, living in the van. Dude, I was 19 years old. Okay, can't stand it. Yeah, you know, his music was I loved his music in college. I did, and I won't lie. He's got an XM channel, and there's a preset on my radio, but it's not the first channel I go to in my car. It's not even the second right now. But you know, I do like Dave Matthews, the origination. Now, I don't know, it's changed too much over the years. The original, before Leroy Moore passed away, before they kicked out Boyd Tinsley, Dave Matthews, the band. I always said this, the original incarnation of Dave Matthews, the original 5. Those 2, Dave Matthews, Stephon Lassard, and Carter Buford. The 4 outside of Dave Matthews, the 4 bandmates, were 100 times more talented than Dave Matthews himself. Dave Matthews is an average rhythm guitarist who's got a funky voice, but he writes some good songs. And he's got a great group of band guys around him. So that's my Dave Matthews opinion right there. I don't know one single Dave Matthews song. I know too many of them. I don't get the Dave Matthews thing. It's get a little high, get a little drunk, get a little turned up. If you go to a Dave Matthews Band concert back in the day, and I saw one of his set lists from this summer, he played like 22 songs. And that's not Dave Matthews. When I went to see Dave Matthews concerts in the 90s, late 90s, you'd have a 3-hour concert, and he might play 10 songs because he would just sit there and have every song. You listen to an old concert CD from him back in the day. I have a 22-minute drive to work. One song could get me the entire ride to work because that's how much on a live album or a live show they just jam out. So it's not as enjoyable to listen to in the car as it is in person with some adult activities going on. That fiddler was a diddler. Yeah. Any music sounds great when you play. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And yes, that's another segue. I know. But when you set the segue up for me, I'm going to purposely miss it every time because I want to segue myself. I am actually going to hire him to defend myself against you and your segue callouts. And who am I going to hire? Yes, that's right. To defend myself against the VCP crew, I'm going to hire David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. If you need a workers' compensation lawyer, motor vehicle accident if you're in one, personal injury, or if you need criminal lawyer, call the best. Call David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. He will fight for you and get you what you deserve. David R. Cherry, 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com. Call him. Let him know EOP sent you. Let him know Trending in the AM sent you. Again, let the best fight for you and get you what you deserve. 610-565-0300, cherryinjurylaw.com. David R. Cherry. Guys, after talking about David R. Cherry and getting through that ad read, I need a drink. So when I need a drink, I go to Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park, the quintessential Irish-American dive bar for the last 65-plus years. Great food, great times, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, dolansbar.com. When you go in, let him know, PJ, that you heard about him on EOP, you heard about him on Training the AM, and let him know that you want to see Phil live doing a show and guest bartending for charity right there at Dolan's Bar, guys. Make sure you check him out. And there you go. When the Eagles win the Super Bowl, who will host a better ceremony at the White House? Harris. Oh, my God. Are you trying to use the Eagles as a way to get politics into the conversation? I'm getting lifted off another. Yeah. Yeah. Did Dave Matthews really have like 60 people in his band, or was that just that video? The core band early on, I don't know what the band's like now, Eric, because I haven't seen them in probably a decade in concert, maybe longer. When there was the 5 original band members, and they would add some background musicians and stuff like that. I don't know what you're talking about with the 60 band people, but the band itself is 5 people. You got Dave Matthews, you got Carter Burford, the drummer, you got Stephon Lassard, the bass player, and you have a sax player and a violinist now, but not the original 2. So I don't even know the names of the guys that have subbed in for them. Radiohead, yay or nay? Can I say meh? Can I say on Radiohead? And tell him you're not complying with my segues, yeah? And he will hang up on you, and we'll lose the David R. Cherry ad read because he'll pull the money from EOP. Jones Dolan Bar for an Eagles game. I can't do that. I got to watch my Eagles games at home, in the comfort of my home. I keep my notebook. I have a notebook just for Eagles games, and I take notes during the games. I do, so that when I come on this show the next day, I am fully prepared for you people. Yeah, let's hope he doesn't need David R. Cherry. Hey, I'm Irish. Yeah? Everybody's Irish when they crack a beer at 7 a.m., right? Oh, stop. Let's not get into that conversation. I don't want to have that conversation. I will say, this is not meant to be political one iota. Okay? I did watch the Bryson DeChambeau Breaking 50 episode that dropped yesterday of Bryson DeChambeau trying to break 50 with Donald Trump. And let me tell you something. There was plenty of cringeworthy moments in that 54-minute video. But can I say that I'm actually jealous of Donald Trump? His golf swing? A 78-year-old man should not be able to hit a golf ball the way Donald Trump does. And I know he plays golf 65 times a week. But God damn that man. I'm 43 and I can't swing a golf club that smoothly. And I'm relatively healthy versus him. Let me tell you something. He drove a green on a par 4. Yeah, they were playing from the ladies' tees, but still, whatever. God damn. Like, Donald Trump at 78 is hitting 220, 230-yard drives. I barely, at 43, can hit a 220-yard drive. Barely, if I really get into one. He's got a funky-ass putting stroke, But damn, he gets that ball right up to the cup every time. Man, it literally crushed me to see him play golf so well in that video. It did. It gave me another reason not to. Dad band, hilarious. I'm sure. But how's Trump's iron game? They didn't really use too much on the irons because they were. It sounds not cool to know that they did it from the red tees, but even from the red tees, it's very hard to break 50 because you have to literally make birdie and eagle on multiple, like on every hole. You got to go 23 under over 18 holes to do it, so it's very difficult to do. So they do it from the red tees. I mean, even Bryson did an episode with Sergio Garcia, and they couldn't break 50 from it. Trump and DeChambeau shot an even 50, which isn't breaking 50 for those to know. His swing was ugly, but effective. It is ugly. It's completely ugly, but it's effective, and it's smooth. It goes back to one of the best golf lessons I ever got from a guy when I was working on cruise ships, the golf pro on the ship. He's like, "Are you trying to become a pro?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not trying to become a pro." He's like, "All right, just perfect the swing you got and adjust the course to your swing. So if you got a little fade in it, all right, then aim a little to the left. If you have a draw, all right, aim to the right. Like just work your swing around the course and just have fun." And Donald Trump knows how to work his swing around holes and courses. He does. I mean, it's different, but it's like Jim Furyk. Won majors, won a lot of events on the PGA Tour in his career. He's got an ugly-ass jerk in the top of his swing, but it works. Everybody ready for the Howie press conference featuring Nick Sirianni? Yeah. Is that supposed to be something? Oh, what's the record that would cause a complete Eagles overhaul? You have to think the only way in my opinion, the only way Nick Sirianni gets fired mid-season is if they're 0-6. I think 0-6 would be that. Missing the playoffs, period, gets him fired at the end of the season. That's how I put it. Even if they're 9-8 and they miss the playoffs. Missing the playoffs at the end of the season gets Nick Sirianni fired. Going 0-6 mid-season gets Howie Roseman fired. Nothing more, nothing less. That's well. I will put that firmly as my statement, Nooms. I don't fade. I slice too. I used to have a big slice in my golf swing, in my drive, and I would aim to the left and make sure it ended up in the fairway. I made some slight equipment changes and some slight adjustments in my stance, and I don't fade it as much as I used to. I actually can hit the drive fairly straight for about 13 or 14 holes. I'm pretty good. My shots gained off the tee are normally very good early and around the golf. My iron play, it's really weird. I always had a natural fade in my drive on my tee shots, but my irons out of the fairway or the rough have an instant pull. Hold on. Yeah, pull. It's weird. My drivers go this way and my irons go this way. It's really weird how it works for me. I think 9-8 could get him fired. Just missing the playoffs gets him fired. Now, 5-12, he might get fired, and you might have a real conversation to be had about Jalen Hurts as well. You might have a conversation to be had about Howie Roseman as well. But that's it. Trump would smoke Charles Barkley in a round of golf. Donald Trump's a good golfer. I'm going to miss weekend at Bernie's being the president. Look. We're not turning this into politics. I knew I shouldn't have brought up the Bryce and DeChambeau video, but everybody would have wanted to talk Donald Trump. I don't want to talk about Donald Trump. Just wanted to talk about his swing. That's it. Phil had big slices in his golf game, but now serves big. Oh, look at that segue. I like that. There we go. Fox's Pizza, guys. I'll only be there for a couple hours today. I got a big catering order to get in for. Then I got the rest of the day off if everybody shows up to work today, which is always a big question. But I'll be there all day tomorrow, all day Friday, all day Saturday. So come on in and see me this weekend. Guys at Fox's Pizza. Look at Big Al. Segueing another business right there. I love it. Not even part of the advertisement. Guys, you're watching Trending the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Make sure you guys are hitting that like, follow, share, subscribe button. 7-day-a-week programming right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Today, Phillies post-game show, Philly Press Box Radio, and EOP Live all on the channel. Make sure you guys are locked in. I think Deebs is a little slacking. No summer league. He's not doing something to make up for all his summer league videos. But guys, make sure you're locked in to the channel right here. I appreciate that. So Trump and stop. I'm not gonna became president, drives a golf ball 220 at 80 years old. Like seriously, it's like what's that line from Iron Man when Captain America says take that suit away from you. What are you? He's like philanthropy, billionaire, playboy, whatever, blah blah blah. And Scarlett Johansson is like yeah, pretty good. Big Al knows how to segue. I have much to learn. Yeah. Whenever you try to segue my pizza shop, I'm always going to take advantage of it. My parents and friends' level of anger at me not liking golf is ridiculous. It's because I can drive at 2:30, but do not enjoy it whatsoever. Complete waste of talent is what I keep hearing. Dude, I wish. See, I always say I'm a great 13, 14-hole golfer. Got a bad leg from breaking it back in the day. I got a bad back, Nooms. I just can't play a full 18 holes and stay loose and pain-free. So I start drinking, and then that makes it worse too. But yeah, I mean, I wish I've only played golf once this entire summer so far, and it was in a scramble, so it doesn't even really truly count. Just golf's the biggest problem with golf, outside the expense of golf, is the time commitment. A round of golf is going to be on a Sunday 5 hours at a minimum. On a busy golf course, maybe 6. Plus the pre-round warm-up, the post-round beer, or 6 with your group. Like to play a round of golf on a Sunday, it's an all-day event. You get to the course at 7 a.m. and you're not leaving the course till 1 in the afternoon. And then you want to take a nap when you get home and you got somebody else saying, oh, go mow the lawn, go do this, do that. Lori's joined Nick and Howie in the presser now. Oh, man. We got the whole family together. What does that tell you about? People are going to be saying that tells you that they don't have confidence in Nick Sirianni. Oh, God, Lori needs to play golf. Yeah, or something. Just stop meddling, right? The fact that Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are coming out for the first press conference. Jeffrey Lurie waits till later in camp, and he has a State of the Eagles presser later on in camp. Him being in camp in the first presser, if he's sitting there taking questions with the rest of them, that's sketchy to me. That's sketchy. That means they're trying to save Nick Sirianni from a barrage of really tough questions. I don't know. Interesting. I just looked up the screen, and I got First Take or Get Up on, whatever. I had SportsCenter on, whatever's on. And they're talking. I totally forgot Russell Wilson was a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that Justin Fields was a Pittsburgh Steeler. And they're talking about who's going to be the starting quarterback there. There's a camp battle going on right there in Pittsburgh, down the turnpike. That'll be an interesting one. Big Thomas doing the presser. Yeah. They're gonna bring out Chip Kelly for the presser too. They're gonna bring everybody out. They're gonna bring one of the ticket salespeople out. There's gonna be 75 people on that stage when all's said and done. If I'm a reporter, I'm like, Nick, how do you feel about Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie crashing your presser? Oh my God, guys, we gotta start the wrap up process here. I got 2 catering orders I gotta get to, guys. I gotta get in and get these things. If I wrap this show up in the next 3 to 4 minutes, it gives me 25 minutes to get to work and 60 minutes to put together 2 massive catering orders. So, yeah, plus my dogs are going nuts upstairs. House stuff getting done today. Anyway, so guys, like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet. I'll let you guys leave the chat here in a minute or two so you can go listen to the presser. So you guys, I am going to do my research in preparation for tomorrow's show by watching these pressers, by reading every recap of camp. But the question is, will you guys do the research so that you're prepared for tomorrow? Are you going to come with questions and thoughts on what happens on day 1 of practice? I know I'm going to have theories and thoughts and overreactions. I am. There's no doubt about it. Everyone does. 16 plus years. Damn straight. Serving the Kennett Square community. I mean, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I believe I'll get the catering orders done, but I'm still tired of doing it. 16 plus years owning my own business, guys. It's worn me out. I'm ready to commit to more shows and more hours behind the mic and less hours in the pizza shop. I'll tell you that. Just can't happen right now. I heard Michael Jordan lost millions betting against Donald Trump on the golf course. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I've heard rumors like that. Michael Jordan's a very good golfer. And Michael Jordan's a big gambler. My guess is either A, they teed off from different tees, or that Michael Jordan would have given Trump some strokes on if they were betting, for sure. Continue for a few weeks. They are facing good pitching. Yeah, we didn't even get to the Phillies today. Great win last night. Zach Wheeler looked fantastic. Matt Straub, not Jose Alvarado, in the ninth to save the game for the Phillies. Fantastic. Brandon Marsh, clutch sacrifice fly, because he is one of the best hitters on this team, and he just doesn't get the respect he deserves. I stand by that. He should be an everyday outfielder. Don't care about the left-handed hitting struggles. But yeah, the Phillies are they're in their cold stretch right now, the Phillies. It is what it is. Let's just hope they get healthy and get right by mid-August. And they close the season strong. They get to the playoffs healthy, and we're good to go, dude. I'll try. It's going to be very tough this week to talk Phillies with camp opening. But after this first week of camp, we'll get back to mixing Phillies in. I mean, the trade deadline is next Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or Thursday? I think it's Tuesday. I'm trying to do the math on the schedule. I think it's Tuesday next week. So we will get back to Phillies next week with the deadline and stuff like that, and later throughout this week. But we are all Eagles right now because of what's going on. Guys, with that being said, we are going to wrap this show up right here. Trending in the AM on Edge of Philly Sports. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow. Get back here tomorrow when we're recapping today's day, press conference and first practice for the Eagles. Guys, with that being said, ring the bell, go Birds, and bubbles up to you.